Okay, hello everyone and welcome to our presentation. I'm so glad to be here. This is the first time we have been to this conference in London. I'm Gábor, Mádi, CIO of DevOps Natives, and here's my colleague Rudolf, who is the Director of Business Development. Today, I am going to talk about how human generations and technological generations have an effect on implementing DevOps in an organization. Rudolf will talk about a little bit about how different kind of roles, different leaders see the DevOps implementation in the organization. And at the end of the presentation, I will tell you a real-life example about an assessment, a case study from a company which was in the pharma industry. So first, let's start with generations. Here's a general chart of the currently available human generations. And what you see in this chart is that currently there are 5 different generations are active in the labor market. It is very interesting to see the generations that have never been so diverse than now. So we live in a world where it is typical when a 60-year-old employee can be mentored by a 27-year-old. It is important to say that these kind of generations are working together in the same time. So as a leader, we have to work with both the baby boomers and the Gen Z colleagues as well. Generations are influenced by the other generations. So, for example, I am a Generation Y employee, and I also have influenced by a Gen Z or the Gen X colleagues as well. An EY study says that nearly 90% of the employees says that the culture and the generation are very important to change their skills in an organization. So what I want to say is that the reason why I started working with generations is when I realized how our colleagues are differently present their work when, for example, we held a 2-week sprint reviews. So in our example, this is a typical Gen X presentation after a sprint review. They usually create PowerPoint presentation. They usually list down all the challenges, the tasks they have done in the sprints as well. In contrast, a Gen Y generation colleague in our team usually just lists down the tasks in VS Code in black and white. And this is a typical Gen Z sprint review. As you see, they're usually communicating in emojis. So this is why it's very important to understand that communication is the key. We have to find and have to understand the mindset of the different generations. We have to be a leader who can communicate with Gen X, Gen Y, or Gen Z as well. In this chart, you can see a quick summary of the different generations from different perspectives. It is important to think about, like, for example, the life-defining events for baby boomers. They grow up in a world with the Cold War, or in a world where transistors were just invented. And for Gen Z, it happened a long time ago. But they have real new challenges like the rise of AI or anything else. Or if we just focus on the key technologies, which was the car for the great or the silent generations, television was for the baby boomers, or PC for Gen X, and smartphone for us, it's also changing in the past. And they also have a different attitude for the works or workplaces as well. So in previous generations, they usually thought that they will have only one workplace for their entire life, and they will retire from the first workplace they've started working. But not only the human generations have effect on implementing DevOps, because as you see, technology also changed a lot in the past few years. In this table from Deloitte, you can see that the architecture model has also changed, like from the monolithic to the microservices, or we have changed a lot in the sourcing model from the on-premise data centers to the cloud-based or container-based cloud environments as well. And we not really release 3 times a year, but we can do it several times a day now. So technology also changed a lot in the past few years. And if it wasn't enough, we see that behind the human generations and the technological generations, corporate and organizational generations are also changed. Dr. Ron Westrum divides organizations into 3 different categories, which was the power-oriented, the rule-oriented, and the performance-oriented. What you see here is that, for example, in a power-oriented organization, there is a very low cooperation between the colleagues, and risk and responsibilities are shirked, and innovation is prohibited. And in contrast with that, a performance-oriented workplace has a high cooperation. The responsibilities and the risks are mostly shared between the colleagues, and innovation is welcome. Innovation is supported, of course. So if we just focus on a little bit to DevOps itself, this is a survey from Atlassian. And in this survey, the participant says that 85% of them think that there are several barriers or obstacles during the DevOps implementation. And these obstacles or barriers mostly came from the lack of skills from the employees, the legacy infrastructure, and the corporate culture, which was the 3 main topics which I talked about before. I don't think I should define DevOps in detail in a DevOps conference. So I just want to highlight the 3 biggest reasons why usually organizations think about implementing DevOps in the company. And that is mostly the team collaboration, the quality and the quantity of the releases, and the time to market acceleration as well. So today, I bring you several best practices to implement a multi-generational and successful DevOps story. And I do this from the people, the process, and the tools point of view. So let's start with people. What we see in the people point of view, and this is our not only our experience, but studies also says that you should hire T-shaped profiles to your company. What it means that a T-shaped profile not only have experience in the exact topic or exact skills in his experience only, but he has skills in the other colleagues as well. And it's very important because with this, you can create a cross-functional team and a flat organizational structure, and they can cover each other much more. They understand their skills, they understand their needs, and they can work together more efficiently. The second thing is the end-to-end responsibilities and the clear KPIs, clear goals. It is very important to see when the employees really know the clear goals, the real KPIs, they can work much more efficiently together. And last but not least is the culture. And this phrase also comes from Dora, which means that you should create a high trust and low blame culture. Because if you ignore blame from your company, you remove fear. And if you remove fear, the colleagues can start working in a higher level, in a much more efficient way. So let's move on to the process part. What we see in most enterprises, that before implementing any DevOps processes, any methodologies, or any tools, it is important to first analyze your processes and see the whole value stream, or the whole development value stream. You should find the main problems, the main obstacles, the main pain points at the company. And this is what we say, or what we do as DevOps assessment. So in DevOps assessment, we do a lot of questionnaires, a lot of personal interviews. And after that, we can create a heat map. We can create a whole study for the company. And that will be showed in the third part in our presentation. The second thing here is the bimodal operation. The phrase bimodal comes from Gartner, and that means we have to create an organization which can work both with the legacy infrastructure, legacy application, legacy softwares, and on the other hand, the next generation microservice-based, cloud-based, or container-based applications as well. And the third point here is the automation. I don't think I should define it much deeper, but it is important to say that automation can solve a lot of generational problems as well. And with automation, you can ignore a lot of handmade work as well. And the latest topic from the tools point of view, or the technology point of view, comes from mostly from researches and in our experience as well. And the first is, which was also said by Deloitte and Dora as well, that cloud is an accelerator for DevOps. What it means and what we see is when a company started working with cloud technologies, they can or they have to communicate with each other in a different way, because these type of technologies needs to work together in another way. The second thing is the open DevOps. What it means that, and what we believe in, that most of the colleagues have their favorite tools from different vendors, and we don't think that only one vendor can supply all the tools that the developer need. But on the other hand, we think that the different type of tools from different vendors can be integrated in a very good way, and they can use what they really want and what they really like. And the last part here is the security. It is very important to say that security risks are increased in the past. And this is an interesting research that says the Gen Z ignores security standards much more than the previous generations as well.